let's clear up business. Woman who owns clothing shop in California shot over pride flag. A woman owns a clothing store in California was shot and killed by a man who made derogatory comments about the pride flag hanging outside her business. The fatal shooting happened in Lake Arrowhead, California. The law enforcement saying the suspect shot the shop owner, Lauri Carleton, because he didn't like the rainbow flag outside her clothing store. Laura owns the Mag.Pi store in Lake Arrowhead in another studio city, and she's been a top fashion designer in Los Angeles for decades. The San Bernardino County Sheriff says deputies arrived at the scene of the shooting to find Laura suffering from a gunshot wound, and paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene. The sheriff says the killer, armed with a handgun, fled on foot, and he was tracked down about a mile away from the store, with deputies shooting and killing him. It is unclear if the fatal shooting will be investigated as possible hate crime. Though San Bernardino County Supervisor Rowe called the incident a senseless act of hate and violence. Laura is survived by her husband of 28 years and 9 children. It's so many hate crimes that's been going on, and it's not even feeling safe anymore. So many things have been happening where I'm kind of feeling a little afraid, but and in most cases, I'm like, why feel afraid? We passed this stuff already. Why is we going back to this time again? So I'm at this moment in my life, I'm embracing it, just to making sure people that don't hide it anymore. Like, we passed this, and we need to fight and stick together right now.
This is awful. This is plain awful. You know, this is hate. This is right-wing rhetoric. This is all that stuff that's being spewed to the masses that people listen, right? And I'm afraid to start counting every single time we've lost somebody, right, to this kind of hate. This woman was married for 28 years. She had 9 children. She was 60 years old, okay? And her biggest flaw in life was being an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. It's a super sad day. It really is. And it's scary. It's really scary.
The best part of the story is he's dead.
Yeah.
Which he should have been dead before this ever occurred. Like, what I don't understand is taking out your beliefs and frustrations out on others instead of, you know, that's something that you need to sit with yourself, and suicide is an option for you guys. I'm just going to say that.
You know, I'm extremely sad in that, while I understand what you're saying, it will not provide 1 ounce of comfort to 9 children.
No.
Yeah.
Or
to the husband.
A husband of a woman whose activism said, you know, I just stand with a community that has faced a lot since the Stonewall riots and the creation of a rainbow flag in the 70s. And the creation of the rainbow flag is only designed to say, I stand with this community as a representation of what the community is all about, a rainbow and hope and faith, and it cost her her life.
Because it's a creation of space. And where people who haven't been oppressed now feel oppressed by space being taken up in their so-called America.
Yeah.
That was intentional. But and the rainbow flag really does represent something, because when we see it, when I go out of town, when I'm traveling, when I see the flag, I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
I'm okay.
We safe right now.
Okay, I'm all right right now. The same as my skin color. When I enter into certain black places, I'm like, oh. Okay.
You see a Confederate flag flying, you're like, shit, where am I?
Yes. No, it's time to go.
Yes.
It is time to go. And when they now see a Pan-African flag, a rainbow flag, a trans flag, it's
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. It's now a symbol of, oh, y'all taking up space. Y'all taking up too much space. Yeah. And we must rid you of that space.
Yeah.
Which
I hate your observation. And I hate your observation because it makes me very sad that I have never been any place in my life where I felt safer because they saw a rainbow flag. Opposite of the observation that you make. I have never had that experience, but I realize when I hear that explanation that I am moving in a circle of places where I don't have to fear where I'm at. And that is privilege. That is the quintessential definition of privilege. I've talked about privilege issues for me and those in our community that don't have that same privilege of women, Latino, Black, faith diversity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That makes me very sad. The other thing that I would say is what really additionally makes me sad is my representation of privilege has lots of blood on our hands. Because the radical evangelical preacher, the radical GOP governor, the radical GOP senator, the radical National Rifle Association executive director, they all have one thing in common. They look like me.
Yeah.
Gender and age and color. And we have blood on our hands when a mother in Lake Arrowhead, California, who is a cisgendered straight woman with 9 children, is murdered because Fox News has told them over and over again exactly what you just said. They're taking something from you. I'll stop that. Bam. I will shoot her. That's where our world has moved to. And it makes me very, very sad because what my face represents is what's causing this, not your faces. It's very sad. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.